in the intense world of medical emergencies.
One patient, 3 times stab wounds.
There's nothing more extreme than a code red.
So this is a 2-car RTC.
That's correct.
It means there's an immediate threat to life.
Got 1 male still trapped in the vehicle.
In the West Midlands, highly specialist teams are ready to react to these major traumas.
PTO 4 minutes.
By road.
It's a shooting of a male currently being shot in the head.
And air.
03, we are lifted from Cosford.
Responding to the most severe 999 calls.
This is going to be tight and painful, OK, but it's going to save your life.
Day and night.
All right, well done.
From car crashes to stabbings.
He's been hit and stabbed in the head.
Here, where time is critical, lives will be saved.
Everyone clear? Yep.
These emergency doctors and specialist paramedics use cutting-edge trauma techniques and surgery normally only seen in operating theatres to save people from almost certain death.
I suspect we are going to be cracking open the blood products en route.
Female casualty.
Filmed alongside the critical care teams, we captured every vital second as these specialist crews work to save lives.
1, 2, 3, roll.
Tonight, a lorry crashes into a railway bridge on the M6 motorway.
So they're going to take the windscreen out, create space so we can look down.
A man is stabbed in the head and abdomen by a family member.
It's mainly pulling from here, isn't it? Where he's eviscerated. Yes.
Hey, sir. Hello.
A driver's unconscious after crashing his car.
The canalago in his one of the drivers. Yeah. There's one. Oh, yes.
And a cardiac arrest leaves a man fighting for his life.
He's starting to get a bit agitated here as well. We'll use just the use your hand, mate, if that's all right.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Paul, is he breathing? No, we don't think so, no. Currently performing CPR.
And how old is the patient?
Late 50s.
Okay.
Come on, Andy. Come on, mate.
Keep going with those chest compressions, hard and fast, okay?
Okay, thank
With them
you.
in as quickly as we can.
999 road activated.
Fewer than 1 in 10 people who suffer an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survive. 2 ambulances are already en route, but the advanced life-saving skills of the critical care team have also been requested. Critical care paramedic Tom Waters and paramedic Ross Layton are immediately dispatched.
There's 2 crews and an OM en route to supply. The first crew are probably 2 minutes away, so I'll keep an eye on it.
Cheers, Bert.
Thank you. Coming through the 50-50-year-old male.
Did you say CPR in progress?
Yeah, that's right.
Cheers.
Take first exit.
So we're going to a what sounds like a 50-year-old male at a industrial unit in cardiac arrest. There's CPR ongoing, and there's ourselves going and another ambulance, as well as the ops manager, but at the moment it's potentially a witnessed cardiac arrest.
For every minute that his heart isn't beating, the brain is being deprived of oxygen, causing irreversible damage. The man's work colleagues have been attempting to restart his heart with chest compressions, giving him the best chance of survival.
There you are.
Arriving on scene 6 minutes later, the patient is still outside on the ground, now being treated by the ambulance crews.
Hi guys.
He's breathing at a normal rest rate, just trying to get some IV access.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. Okay. Hello, sir. Open your eyes for us. And was it just one shot for you guys? Just one shot. One shot.
Forklift driver Andy was leaving work with 2 colleagues when he collapsed. When the ambulance crew arrived, they were able to use a defibrillator to shock his heart back into a working rhythm.
Yeah, get blood pressure and saturate.
Andy is now breathing, but Tom and Ross need to monitor his heart rate and oxygen levels closely to make sure his blood is circulating properly.
You're happy just kind of get him all blocked away. Ross, I just want you to keep an eye on his lobs and stuff like that, and we'll just manage him from there.
When he fell over as well, apparently he banged his head on the floor.
OK, thanks for telling us. Right then, let's get this under him.
Andy's in a very vulnerable state. Tom knows the best chance of saving their patient is to get him to a hospital that specialises in cardiac care.
OK, yeah, when you're ready, are you right to just go on his shoulders a little bit? On 3, 1, 2, 3, roll. And then towards me a bit. That's it, perfect. Yeah, that'll do. And then stay where you guys are, and we'll just do the other way around.
With the help of the ambulance crew, they manoeuvre Andy onto the scoop stretcher.
OK, so just going to roll on 3, 1, 2, 3, roll. Perfect, and back down. So clipped in at the front, you've just got to do the feet. Keep the BVM there. No, it is a bit. It was 190, so it's 150. He's got good pulses, so he doesn't need anything. Good. Yep.
The ambulance crew have IV access in case they need to administer emergency drugs to try and restart Andy's heart en route. He could arrest again at any moment.
So the only thing I want to tell you before we move in, if he goes back into cardiac arrest, we can do 3 consensual shocks. Yeah, let's go.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Yes, he's breathing, but he's wounded really bad. He's been stabbed and he's coming to our work time. He's conscious, but I don't want to touch him. He's dripping.
Okay, don't worry, have you got something on the bleeding?
Can you get some towels on him and just compress his wound? His head's got a slash in it, his hand, yeah, he's covered. He is covered.
Okay. Does it look like he's been stabbed anywhere on his torso?
Well, anywhere else have you been stabbed, Dennis? Chest and his head. Head wound's bad.
The head wound's bad. Okay. Does he know who stabbed him?
Do you know who stabbed you, Dennis? Your son.
Okay.
Roger.
As the man has potentially life-threatening injuries needing the fastest treatment, Helimed 03 is scrambled.
OK, and taking off. Tier 3, lift to Cosford, it's 22, ETA is 6 minutes.
On board the helicopter are Dr. Jake Turner and critical care paramedic Mike Andrews.
Going to Lifestyle Bridge, man in his 60s, reports been stabbed by his son. Stabbed into the chest, head and hand.
Tier 3, thank you, talk to you.
Critical care paramedics Faye Pollock and paramedic Jordan Lane are also dispatched to get to the patient as quickly as possible.
They're saying the attacker's not on scene at the moment. We've got a tactical officer doing a drive-by just to locate the patient and check, sort of do a dynamic risk assessment of the scene.
The mic?
Yeah.
MTC options from here, mate?
QE, mate.
By land?
Yeah, by land, yeah.
Need to take blood with us as well, yeah?
Okay, cool.
Overhead in 3 minutes.
Faye and Jordan arrive at the location ahead of their Helimed colleagues. An ambulance crew is tending to the patient while police secure the scene.
Whiskey Romeo from 7062. Thank you. We can see Helimed 03 overhead. We will try and get them an early update over.
There you go, in your 1 o'clock now, it's coming into 2 o'clock.
Not seen.
Ambo, so follow the road along.
Yeah, I've got the police car.
Yeah, just to the right.
Whiskey
That is the
Romeo from
Amber.
7062.
Yeah.
It's right at the crossroads.
Thank you.
So the obvious place would be this cricket pitch underneath us. Yeah, agree. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, ready for landers? Roger. Tier 3 landing.
Whiskey Alpha, Helimed 03, we are on for ETA is 5 minutes over.
As the Helimed crew make their way to the scene, Faye and Jordan get eyes on the patient for the first time.
What's his first name?
Dennis.
Dennis, my lovely. Hello, my name's Faye. I'm one of the critical care paramedics.
67-year-old retired security guard Dennis was out for a walk when he was stabbed multiple times in the head, chest and arm. He managed to get away from his attacker and into the safety of a nearby shop where the alarm was raised.
We're just going to cut your arm off, so we're ready to put you straight on the stretcher. Oh, not cut your arm off,
just your sleeve.
Dennis, right, you have been stabbed and we think that he's probably caught a little bit of your bowel, OK? That's on the outside, OK?
Faye has discovered several slash wounds to Dennis's abdomen, deep enough to expose part of his bowel. It's clear he's lost a lot of blood and could be in danger of losing consciousness.
Right, TXA, yeah, please start giving, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, it's the first meal.
QE, by roads, with us, if that's OK.
An injection of TXA or tranexamic acid will promote clotting and help prevent further blood loss.
I don't think 03 is needed.
No.
If anything, we're going to go to QE, but we can escort him in. Yeah.
With Dennis's condition critical, the decision is taken that the fastest way to get him to a major trauma centre is by road. The air ambulance is stood down.
We've just had an update on site that you're not required. CCP car is having to deal with the crews and attendants. Received.
Tier 3 is received, attended aircraft.
Tier 3, thank you.
We'll get it all for you. We're going to scoop it all up.
With the help of the ambulance crew, Faye and Jordan can now start transporting Dennis to hospital.
Well done, Dennis. Let's just get a blood pressure on you.
When good guys, does this happen so far?
Bad, 40 minutes ago.
Right.
OK, Dennis, that's just going to go a little bit tighter around your arm, sir. I think we'll have to use the Cheeto gauze on that wound, I think.
Faye and Jordan also need to stop the bleeding from the wound to Dennis's abdomen by redressing it with a special gauze impregnated with a clotting agent. But doing so risked dislodging the original clot and causing a life-threatening hemorrhage.
Take a deep breath, sir.
Right, so I've got new Cheeto here.
I've got that. Thank you. Dennis, you just drop that arm nice, and I'm sorry if we knock you. We need another blast bandage, really.
The wound to his abdomen is so deep, it has exposed part of his bowel. Faye and Jordan need to redress it to stop the bleeding without disturbing the original clot and causing it to hemorrhage.
No, it's mainly pulling from here, isn't it? Where he's eviscerated.
Yes.
So if we peel back and start packing it and just peel and pack.
Peel and pack. All right, Dennis, you're going to have to bear with us. We are giving you some pain relief now, OK? There, be brave a second, Dennis.
Well done,
yeah,
well done. You're doing really well.
We're nearly there, and we'll wrap it back up.
At the moment, Dennis is alert and stable, but having lost so much blood, he could suddenly deteriorate. He's in urgent need of surgery at a major trauma centre.
Yes, we need a pressure bandage on that, really. Dennis, we're just going to have a little look at your head, sweet, OK? You're a big man, you've got a lot of blood, haven't you? Sorry, Dennis, if this is a little sore on your head.
All right, we're off. Well done.
It's a 10-mile journey to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Dennis is losing a lot of blood from his wounds.
Have we seen what's actually going on underneath?
No, because it's so clotted and it's still having a good bleed. So I'd say probably temporal artery.
Yeah.
If they don't manage to stop the bleeding, his life could be in danger.
Dennis, can you lift your head forward just a tiny bit? Well done, well done. I know this is uncomfortable and this is going to be really tight, but that wound is still bleeding, so we need to pull it tight to stop it from bleeding.
Head forward again for us.
You feeling okay, Dennis? Yeah, OK. What day is it today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, brilliant, OK. And whereabouts do you live? Lye, good man. Right, the blood pressure's still 130/84.
Okay, we've got sats of 90. Could be positional as well.
Could be positional. Dirty finger?
I'll give it a clean.
A person's oxygen saturation levels, known as SATs, should be close to 100. At 90, Dennis's levels are low, a sign that he may have lost so much blood it can no longer supply enough oxygen to his major organs.
How are you with blood and putting pressure on things?
I will. I'm not putting blood, but I'll try. Need you.
The situation is so acute they need to involve the police officer who is travelling with them in the ambulance.
Could you stand there, lean against anything, and just all the pressure
like that
is on that side? Yeah, that one can relax a little bit, but that's perfect. Yeah.
Got last bit TXA to go through. What do you want to do about SATs?
Oh, there, 89.
Do you want just a bit of a couple of litres on him to bring him up?
Dennis's oxygen saturation levels are still in decline, and he's now in danger of losing consciousness.
Dennis, how are you feeling? Good man. Take some nice deep breaths of that oxygen. That's it, good man.
Despite his ordeal, Dennis is still conscious and alert, but his injuries, especially the stab wound to his abdomen, are critical.
So, full thickness laceration across the umbilicus area of his abdomen with evisceration. And stats are now 98%. Let's see if we can keep it at that.
Won't be long, Dennis, we're nearly there.
2 minutes later, they arrive at the hospital.
Here we are.
His aspirin blood pressure was 152 over 82.
Where Dennis is handed over to the waiting emergency team.
Happy up?
Yep, it's fine. We've got quite a few.
As night falls, another team is clocking on.
Cheers.
Critical care paramedic Ian Locke and Dr. Mike McAllendon.
24 scalpel.
As a consultant anaesthetist, Mike divides his time between working in a hospital and out on the road as part of the frontline critical care team.
I've been working with West Midlands Ambulance Service and the Midlands Air Ambulance for about the last 6 months or so. It's very different from my day job where you've got all the equipment, all of the information at your fingertips, all the diagnostic tests at your fingertips. But it's very much you're reliant on clinical instincts and playing things as you see it. So somewhat with the pre-hospital team. So it's just a very different perspective on it.
There we are. Right.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
I don't know, he's just knocked out. Is he breathing? Yeah.
Definitely breathing?
He's definitely breathing.
Okay. Is he waking up at all or not, sorry?
No, he's properly knocked out. Like.
Oh, okay, all right.
Is he in the middle of the road?
So he was driving the car, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, don't worry. The ambulance should be arriving there with you shortly.
Road traffic collisions are one of the most common causes of traumatic injuries. With reports of a man unconscious at the roadside, Ian and Dr. Mike are called to assist.
Crew and OM en route and channel 83.
9-8, all received, one route.
Thank you.
So we've been called to an adult male, road traffic collision. Suggests he's a driver of a car. Initially was sat up and talking, but now he's become unresponsive.
Just a further update on this capable patient has noisy breathing.
So we obviously don't know whether this is a single vehicle incident, whether there's another car. Obviously that will dictate the pattern of injury you're likely to come across. They were concerned about noisy breathing, so we've been worried about a head injury potentially with that, or potentially a chest injury.
602 just making the scene now, car is partially blocking the road, patient on the pavement, passing by. No obvious major smash up to the car.
Ian and Dr. Mike arrive several minutes after the ambulance crew, who are assessing the driver on the pavement.
Should we just go and have a look? Careful, it's a live carriageway, yes. Just watch yourself.
The accident involves just one vehicle. Mike's updated by the operational manager.
It looks like the mechanism-wise very low.
Yeah.
No, there's obviously no intrusion, is it?
Yeah.
No about.
So canalago in this well on the driver's side.
Yeah.
There's one cup holder.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You get his name?
No, we know this. I've looked in the back pocket.
Hey, sir. Hello.
That's it. Open your eyes, buddy. There we go.
Hello.
Just all feels intact.
Yeah, it's got decent radio on this side.
Good, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a good tone, I think, isn't it?
Decent radio. It's nice and warm.
Yeah, I see that.
All right.
In their initial assessment, Mike and Ian can't find anything wrong with the man's breathing or any injuries.
Your call, mate.
Should we just get him off?
Yeah.
The floor.
Let me get him on, yeah.
Confident it's safe to move him, they decide to get the man into an ambulance where he can be examined more closely.
On roll then. Ready, set, roll.
There we go. That's it. Just keep your head nice and still for us, sir. That's it.
Right, should we get him on to the trolley? Yeah.
Ready, steady, lift.
The driver may be intoxicated. However, an injury or another medical event can't yet be ruled out.
Can you open your eyes for me? Full air entry.
And he remains unresponsive.
So you can open your eyes now, okay?
Midlands Air Ambulance Charity operates 3 helicopters covering 6 Midlands counties from Staffordshire in the north to Gloucestershire in the south.
03 Alpha, clear takeoff.
Flying at a top speed of 160 miles per hour, Helimed 03 can reach 90% of the 6,000 square mile region it covers within 10 minutes. But it can only be scrambled if visibility is good.
Helimed 03 making approach now.
At RAF Cosford, the lead base of Midlands Air Ambulance, Dr. Andy Owen and critical care paramedic Karen Baker are preparing for their shift.
Oh, that's the airway pouch.
That's the spare airway pouch.
Ah, fine.
On the helipad, the pilot is doing his final checks, aided by Karen.
This is classic sort of autumn weather where it's quite warm, but we get this mist first thing in the morning. Once the sun comes up and it gets warm, this will burn off quite quickly, but within the next hour or so we should be fully online on the aircraft.
"35 minutes later, Helimed receives a request from Northwest Ambulance Service. There's been a serious accident on the motorway and they require critical care backup.
Secure in the back.
Okay, I can see we're all clear. And taking off.
Fortunately, visibility has improved enough for takeoff.
Helimed 03 to Whiskey Alpha. We've lifted from Cosford en route to scene. ETA to overhead approximately 17 minutes. That's 17 minutes over.
03, that's the street, thank you.
The accident has taken place 50 miles north of Cosford on the M6 motorway.
So this has been passed as a truck versus a bridge on the M6.
Oh.
One of the off-duty doctors from Northwest was driving past in the opposite direction. Said that the cab was mangled and couldn't see anybody out of it or how they would have got out. They do have a DCA en route to this with an ETA of approximately 6 minutes now and an RRB with an ETA of about 12 minutes. So we should get an update from them before you arrive. Over.
That's all received. We'll update you when we're overhead. Over.
Reports are in that a lorry has smashed into a bridge. At speed, this has the potential for catastrophic injury. The patients will most likely need to be airlifted to hospital.
So we've been tasked to a road traffic collision, which is quite a long way north of us. It'd be a long way to drive, so we're going by air to get there a bit quicker. So far, all we know is that there's a lorry that's got significant damage, but the conditions are a little bit intermittent with quite a lot of low-lying mist and cloud, which is at risk of obstructing things if we're not careful. But so far, it's been okay, and we're managing to progress.
Whiskey Alpha Helimed 03.
03, go ahead.
Yeah, we've had a brief update from the scene. They are requesting you continue to scene. It is a major impact. There's at least one person, possibly two, trapped inside the cab of the truck.
Yeah, that's all received. Loud and clear, over.
First reports of the scene are not good. With casualties possibly still trapped in the wreckage, every second counts.
They don't even know how many patients are trapped in the front, so it sounds like it's gone properly squish against this bridge.
Yeah, okay.
City will be the nominated place, Ross.
Will be?
Yeah. Run time to there is approximately 11 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to alert them now.
In West Bromwich, critical care paramedic Tom Waters is leading the team trying to save forklift driver Andy, who suffered a cardiac arrest at work.
We've got a 50-year-old male. He's had a witness cardiac arrest at an industrial site. He's currently had one episode of VF where he's been shocked and rosked. So he's in an SVT at the moment at a rate of about 170. He's self-ventilating, GCS of 3. He's maintaining his own airway with some OT.
They need to get Andy to Birmingham City Hospital Specialist Cardiac Unit for urgent treatment. But before they set off, Tom radios control with an update.
I haven't done a 12 lead, but it looks like he's got some inverted T's, so he's probably having an evolving MI. And we're going to go now. Cheers, bye.
Tom thinks Andy is suffering from a myocardial infarction, commonly known as a heart attack, where the supply of blood to the heart is suddenly blocked. It needs to be unblocked in an operating theatre to prevent permanent damage to the heart muscle.
Breathing-wise, self-ventilating. Rapid rates. OK, and circulation, just feel for a radial pulse for me.
Yeah, I've got a radial. I've got blood pressure on here, 163 over 106. Sats of 85. D, still GCS 3. 10 per BM en route.
The ambulance crew used a defibrillator to shock his heart back into a workable rhythm. It is now beating fast and erratically.
I think the only issue is his sats aren't great, is it? No. So we'll put him on the Mapleson.
Yep.
And then I'll get you to just go by his head, if that's all right, Ross. And you can manage his airway from the top there.
Because his circulation stopped, the oxygen saturation levels in Andy's blood have dropped to 85, worryingly low. The best hope they have of keeping him stable on the journey is to maintain his breathing using an oxygen delivery system.
So when you're ready, we can start making our way nice and slowly. So heater on, put some blankets around him. If you just take the mask out of that, perfect, buddy. Yeah, here we go. The only thing we can really correct here is sats are a bit rubbish. Jacob, can you repeat the blood pressure for me, please?
It's an 11-minute journey to the hospital.
So, how was that sats reading as well, so?
85, but with a poor trace as well, mine.
To manage Andy's vital airways, Ross wears level 3 PPE.
So just jaw thrust, mask. Perfect, okay, good. Let's see if we can get a better trace on that sats probe. So.
As oxygen is pumped through the mask.
And blood pressure's reading. Got an access. 160. He's relatively flat, so I don't think he's going to need sedating or anything like that at the moment. The main thing just to keep an eye on is just trismus. So if he does lose his airway, then we'll do something about it. But in the meantime, we'll just leave it as is.
Even though Andy is barely conscious, there's an acute danger he may become agitated and clench his jaw, which could jeopardise his breathing.
Hold my hand for us, give us a squeeze. So his sats are now up to 87, end-tidal at 2.2 but nasal, and his heart rate's gone down to 1, well, it's quite erratic, but it was 120 just then, so. And let's just have a quick
Breathing quite hard against his bag.
Okay, that's fine, don't worry. He's shifting quite well, isn't he?
Yeah.
4 minutes into the journey, Andy starts to show signs of fighting the breathing system.
He's biting on down on this to look quite...
Okay, just get it in. Do you need a bit of midazolam to lighten it up?
Yeah.
Is his jaw still a bit tight?
Yeah. He's starting to get a bit agitated here as
right,
well.
We'll use just the use your hand, mate, if that's all right.
Yeah, he's proper fighting it.
Okay.
Midazolam is a sedative that will make managing Andy's airway easier. Tom administers a small dose through the cannula.
93 sats. Rate of 126, so it's come down a bit. We're here now. 95 sats, that's good.
Arriving at hospital, Andy's oxygen levels are finally showing signs of improvement.
So, Ross, are you happy at the moment, or are you just...
Happier?
Good, OK. So oxygen levels, airway-wise, we're working on it. Breathing, we've got sats at 94% now. Got a heart rate of 120, so it's come down nicely, and he's got good radial pulse. He's had 5 of midazolam. He's got O2. That's running? OK. So We're all happy. Happy to go? Stand by. Just move out slowly.
Andy is handed over to the specialist cardiac team. His chances of survival greatly increased by the quick-thinking actions of his colleagues.
Reduced GCS, and he's properly flat out.
In Wolverhampton, Ian and Dr. Mike are assessing a driver who is lying in the road.
Open your eyes for me.
The patient's been drifting in and out of consciousness and is almost entirely unresponsive.
He flexed his arms. There's a bit of reflection there with some deep pain stimuli.
Alcohol in the car suggests he may be intoxicated, but Dr. Mike and Ian want to make sure there are no hidden injuries from the crash.
So he's breathing nicely, no crevices over his chest, abdomen's soft, nothing obvious over the pelvis, no instability there, nothing on his femurs, knees intact. So I'm just going to look at him neurologically. Can I swap places with you for a second? So we'll look at his pupils.
All right, no worries. He's not going to speak to us.
Pupils are equal and reactive.
Given a good radial, given that BP.
So, to be honest, this is looking far more alcohol than trauma-related, I think it's fair to say.
A top-to-toe inspection of the patient finds no signs of injury.
So our working diagnosis is probably just intoxication, I think. There's no obvious external injuries, and there's no damage to the car, so there's nothing suggested of anything high speed. The only thing is, unless he's had an underlying medical issue, and the alcohol in the car is a bit of a misnomer.
All the evidence points to a low-speed accident, in which it's unlikely the patient could have been hurt.
Can you open your eyes for me?
But the man remains persistently unconscious for someone who's just been drinking.
Potentially there's a medical cause, so there may well have been a medical event that precedes this that we certainly cannot rule out, such as a stroke or something to cause a seizure and loss of consciousness, which may only sort of get found out on further investigations, blood tests or scans.
Dr. Mike and Ian must decide whether the patient needs to be taken to the nearest major trauma centre 40 minutes away, or whether the local hospital would be more appropriate.
Anything at all, or just a no?
There's nothing to find on primary survey at all. He is intoxicated, so I think we'll just go with local hospital and just make ourselves available for if there was something on CT scan, we can always assist.
Dr. Mike opts for the local hospital, where scans will reveal whether the driver requires any medical treatment.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy, yeah.
His conscious level could be reduced for a number of reasons, but the way he was behaving, the way he was responding to us, led me to believe that it's more likely due to kind of substance rather than, a head injury. There was no signs or symptoms of that, really.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
No, there's been a stabbing in Woodland Town Centre. There's blood everywhere. He's been stabbed in the chest near his heart.
So I've got some help arranged. Is there someone there now who can stay with them until help arrives?
Yeah, there's a couple of people around.
It's a busy night for Ian and Dr. Mike. It's now just after closing time, and reports have come in of a person stabbed outside a pub.
Initially, this call came through as arrest, peri-arrest. It's now proposed to category 2, patient unconscious. The patient has been stabbed in the chest, leg and shoulder.
So the incident's just come through as a young male, multiple stab wounds. Patient isn't in cardiac arrest, which was the initial report, but is unconscious. So with any stab wound, there's obviously a potential for injuries to major blood vessels or internal organ injury. So if the patient is unconscious as a result of the stab wounds rather than a head injury or something like that, well then that is concerning that he might have lost significant amounts of blood.
There's no confirmation from police you're in safe to make either.
2 minutes. See the M6 on. Stacking up on the right already.
In Cheshire, Helimed 03 is heading to a serious crash involving a lorry on the M6. On board are Dr. Andy Owen and critical care paramedic Karen Baker.
Okay, let me start and descend down to 1,000 feet.
See the traffic starting to build, which means normally a good indicator going towards the incident.
Do you think this is the best spot here? There's no point going further up, is there?
I think this is going to be the best.
Dr. Andy and Karen now have to find a way down the motorway embankment to reach the scene of the accident.
It's a long way down. I'm not sure how much fun that's going to be. You all right with that?
Yeah.
It's a bit lower here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get down there.
You reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. Can I just chuck you that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thanks.
An hour earlier, a heavy goods lorry crashed into a railway bridge after it experienced a tyre blowout. It's now wedged into the brick pillar, and the driver is still trapped inside. Police have closed off both sides of the motorway while the fire service tries to gain access to the cab.
Boss, how you doing?
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm Andy.
An ambulance crew member who has assessed the driver briefs Dr. Andy and Karen.
He's been in absolute asystole for bare minimum of 40 minutes. He's got the engine block in his chest.
Okay.
We are doing the best to extricate to see if we can find anyone on the passenger side.
The driver has been asystolic, meaning he has no heartbeat for some time. His chances of survival are now remote. But Dr. Andy and Karen need to ensure nothing further can be done.
Cool. Happy. Cheers.
What are we doing then? Whoa. Do you want a stethoscope?
Karen crawls in for a close look at the driver, while Dr. Andy checks the heart monitor for any vital signs.
What do you think, Haz?
Well, let's get a rhythm strip. There's no heart sounds, no breath sound, and he's not breathing.
The problem we've got is we don't know if there's anyone on the other side.
Dr. Andy and Karen are in agreement that nothing can be done for the driver.
The driver is very trapped by the wreckage. He's not breathing, he's got no pulse, and he's flatline asystole on the monitor. We can't get him out of the vehicle, so he's been declared, unfortunately, deceased on scene.
Their priority now is to ensure no one else is trapped inside.
So they're going to take the windscreen out, create space so we can look down. We've seen the seat and we've seen that there's no one in it. It's whether anyone's sort of slipped under. It's unlikely.
We can't see the left-hand side of the vehicle adequately enough to be 100% sure that there's not a passenger in that side of the lorry. So we've directed the fire service now to taking the windscreen out to try and get some better view of the left-hand side of the lorry. But I've sort of climbed across a little bit and you can see the seat and the belt and there's nobody in it. But what we can't determine is if there's somebody in the footwell and they've slipped out in the accident. So I'm almost sure there isn't, but we need to be 100% sure that there is no one else in the car.
With the recovery truck now on scene, fire updates Dr. Andy and Karen on the next steps.
So we're going to pull the HCV out of the 45-degree pull.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to do a 3-point pull.
Yeah.
So it doesn't pivot and take more of the bridge out with it.
Fine, okay.
Once he's moved it, we're going to move into the first lane, or try and get the cab into the first lane, which will give us enough room on the other side to get a crew in and assess that there's definitely only one person involved.
Yeah, okay.
So the latest update from the ambulance officer is that a lorry behind was a witness and saw the lorry had a blowout and he's lost control. You can see he's gone into the barrier here and then ended up, unfortunately, in the railway bridge.
As they prepare the recovery truck for the manoeuvre, Dr. Andy radios into control.
Yeah, just to update you, because we haven't got full access into the vehicle to see if there are any other patients. I think it's unlikely, but we're going to be here a little longer just while they cut the front of the cab off. Over.
Yeah, that's all right, thank you.
Steel ropes are attached to the lorry, and the recovery crane pulls it clear of the bridge.
Looks like they're going in now, doesn't it?
Revealing the driver was alone in the cab at the time of the crash.
Right, we'll head off them.
Yeah, if you're happy to, I can't see anybody else being in this.
No.
All the information we've got points to something.
He's on his own.
They've spoken to the firm. He's driving by himself. It's only if he's picked anybody up.
And let's face it, no one's coming out of that alive, are they? So.
Unfortunately, no. So
Okay.
no, thank you very much.
No,
Cool.
thank you. Cheers.
Come on, guys. Cheers.
All right. Is that the best way?
Well, so anyway, we came down there, didn't we?
I know.
Sadly, with the driver beyond their help, Dr. Andy and Karen are now fully available for their next emergency call.
The only godsend is it didn't take anybody else out. Very sad. It's quite a sad conclusion to this case, really. As events have unfolded and we've spoken to witnesses, it seems that he definitely had a blowout and lost control of the lorry, mounted the barrier and then collided at probably 50, 60 miles an hour into the railway bridge. Sad because 50 yards further on and that bridge wouldn't have been there and it might have been a very different story, but in this situation it was unfortunately fatal.
In Willenhall, Dr. Mike and critical care paramedic Ian have just arrived at the location of a reported stabbing.
9-8 on scene.
Roger, 2342.
Dr. Mike seeks an update from the paramedic.
Hello mate, I'm finding on the arm. Mike.
Look round the back, can't find anyone. No, around the other side, been all the way around, so...
Okay. It seems quiet, doesn't it?
I can't see a pub in the area.
No.
For the site of an alleged stabbing just 20 minutes earlier, the pub and the street are eerily quiet.
Can't see anything else around the front of this. There's some liquid down here. It doesn't look like it's blood. You see, had a chat to the person who reported.
They're just trying to ring them back now. So the phone's just going to voicemail.
Is it?
No,
okay. These people being suspiciously lurking around, have they? Oh, dear.
With the West Midlands Ambulance Service receiving more than 1,000 hoax calls every year, it's starting to look like this could be one of them.
Yeah, at the minute, it looks like this is no sign of incident. The police are looking at a couple of youths that have wandered by. We're currently blocked in just by police vehicles, mate, but if you want us for anything else, mate, just give us a shout.
Everything points to a malicious call, but Mike and Ian will stay on scene until they're sure.
Looking at the mapping, the call seems to be polling a nearby street on John Street.
John Street.
The control desk has now obtained more information about the location of the caller.
We have tried calling back multiple times. Initially it was going straight to voicemail, however, it has been ringing a couple of times and then calls ended.
Well, we've confirmed he's the caller.
There you have.
So from our end, it is F&M. So
okay.
I imagine John Street's a different matter.
F&M, or false and malicious calls, cost the emergency services millions of pounds every year in wasted time and resources.
They've worked out it's the lad who's called.
It is it? Right, okay.
He was here when we first got here. He was over here and then he disappeared off and then he's come back here. This is not going to be for us.
Nobody's been stabbed.
The teenage boy responsible is detained and could face criminal charges.
The police have located a couple of individuals who, following a bit of questioning, have kind of owned up to the fact they've made this call potentially with malicious intent. So there isn't actually a patient who's been injured. So sadly, this looks like it's a hoax call, and so unfortunately a bit of a waste of everyone's time, a waste of precious resource. But unfortunately not the first or last time this will happen.